the euro does not promote integration and harmonization in Europe. What we see is countries like Italy and Greece struggling. They have failed to maintain competitiveness. And as a result, they've accumulated a lot of debt and their economies have stagnated for the last decade. This is not a good environment. A big economy like China or the United States can integrate much better. First, because there is, by and large, free movement of labor. It's less so in China than it is in the United States, because there are, in the US, there's common language, common culture, common law. So it's easy for people to move around. If there's a lack of jobs in Texas, maybe they can move to California or to New York or somewhere like that. Now, in China, there are still controls on how people can move around, but the language is not an issue. So I think there is better scope for an integrated economy in China than there is in Europe, where they tried to patch together lots of economies at different stages of development, and it hasn't really worked very well. Now, you asked me about whether Hong Kong and Macau, which have different currencies, would be better off having the renminbi. Well, the problem with that is that the same rules would have to apply, and China is subject to capital controls. So Hong Kong and Macau would have to become subject to capital controls. That would destroy Hong Kong as an international financial center. So it really would not be a good idea. At the moment, the situation is that, rather like in Europe, before the euro was introduced, different currencies of Europe moved up and down against each other to equilibrate and adjust to maintain the maximum amount of trade and prosperity. And that's effectively what happens between the renminbi, the yuan, and the Hong Kong dollar or the Macau pataka. So actually, mandating a single currency is not a good idea unless the economies are highly compatible and already very integrated. So the integration should come first, and then you can have a unification. What Europe did was the wrong way around. They created a currency and then said, everybody will be integrated. But with language difficulties, language differences, and different rates of productivity growth in different parts of Europe, it hasn't really worked very well. And that's basically why Europe is still struggling.